Okay, let's see now. It's TUI versus FPX.ZQ for game 2, last game of for game 1, last game. Well, I mean, for game 1, last round of today, we're going to be seeing our first Axeboy coming out once again. This is going to be pretty fun to see. Of course, as you've seen the thumbnail as well, or maybe if I didn't use that thumbnail, they banned entomologists first, so Ento is quite annoying to deal with as an Axeboy main. Therefore, we're going to come out with an Ento ban immediately. But it doesn't seem like Seer has been chosen because Seer was the second to third plan, but allowing the prospector here to be chased first, allowing himself to use a resentful road here as well, gets the oh wow, that landed. I don't know whether it's the fact that that landed that surprised me, or the fact that Maoem didn't really try dodge it that surprises me. But this should be quite a Lunstun right here for the prospector. Lundstun's still really annoying for the prosy, but does have resentful road down. Just a little bit unfortunate. No, it is not unfortunate. It's flywheel up. Flywheel is up. Successfully baiting at the flywheel, but didn't really land a hit there, sadly. It does seem like prospector has the next magnet coming out, but I will coming out first. Wow, it seems like we're going to play really safe right here. Now, of course, with the blink being ready up and ready to use here, as we can see as well, it did seem like Miko GW wanted to use those trees because he believed that the prospector was going to stun him with the magnets. And of course, second, this is his second fire orb land. 2 out of 3 fire orb lands. The accuracy currently is at 66%. Of course, against professional team, it's already really good for the Axeboy right now, but sadly, because Seer did get chosen now, oh my lord, but sadly because of the Seer, downtime was decreased by quite a bit, but at least we still do have blink. That's what I think. At least we still do have blink, and if we want to, we can get rid of music boxes in the middle, but it doesn't seem like Axeboy want to do that right now, considering the fact that Resentful Roll is still on cooldown. Here, as we do see as well, first officer trying to rotate in as much as possible. As long as first officer doesn't get the fire orb, that's all what matters for them, because at the end of the day, this is still tieable for the hunter right now. If the hunter can force Moem to use all his magnets in the next like 2 seconds, well, I guess it's already out. It's just a bit unfortunate that Resentful Road isn't out just yet. We really need to rely on these orbs now. We really do need to rely on these orbs now. It doesn't register, but that's okay. The blink is up, but the blink is up. Yeah, the blink is up. It's okay. The blink is up. But I feel like I just feel like for Axeboy here, he can't really get rid of the music boxes, because if he does, then the Cypher machine will be primed, which is a huge problem for the Axeboy. Axeboy cheering outside towards drop. That's not a bad plan, considering the fact that we do know that Female Dancer has dropped all of her music boxes, deployed all of her music boxes, and of course with her Axeboy right here, it still does seem like a definite tie. Unless Female Dancer does manage to rescue and body block successfully to allow first officer to finish his cipher on time. Now here, as we can see, the fire orb didn't really want to pull it back in, but of course it dissipated as well by itself, considering the fact that the duration was already over. Now Mind Gaming here and there did land the fire orb, but of course the Axeboy's hitbox will always bite you in the back, just like Postman's dog. Here, as you can see as well, the speed boost coming in, breaking the paddock here is definitely what's more important, but as long as Female Dancer can successfully aid this prospector to contain for another 10 seconds, I say the Cypher machine will be more than enough. Here, as we can see as well, at 81%, at 83%, didn't land the hit right there, but it does seem like Female Dancer will be coming in for the body block. Steer's also coming in to get some owls. That's great, I guess, but it's probably still better for them to have someone at gate. So then, like, even if Prospector downs here a bit early, or if Prospector gets Fire Orb down, that's okay, because there's already someone at gate. Now then, it does seem like no one's at gate. Seer's currently running as well, and of course the Prosy has another magnet that's on himself. That's great and all, until you do realize the fact that by the time you down this Prospector, I think it's game over, simply because of the fact that there's a slow music box here, and of course because of the fact that Prosy will just play around this area until you use your basic attack. Your basic attack is very slow, your movement speed is also very slow, you're an Axeboy who has short hitbox, and your animation isn't too long, but it's also not too short. So it does seem like it's going to be a 3-man escape here for FPX.ZQ. They did do very well with the endgame, but it's a bit unfortunate for Miko GW right here. It's really the body block. It's really just a body block at the end of the day. Moving on to the second half. Okay, let's see second half of game 1 right now. D only needs to get a tie. And as BQ, if you want to tie against this team, I don't think it's that hard. Maybe the anti-current is considered hard, but overall I don't think it should be too hard. And then NJ successfully crouching out of that one is more surprising to me than anything, but of course because of the fact that he cannot actually decode now, it definitely hurts a lot for the Embalmer. Embalmer did successfully rotate away, which is more than what's important right here. Fulang was the professor here, with our team comp being the Embalmer, Professor, First Officer and anti-current. Anti-current being chased right here wouldn't be too bad, but I think D will actually start with a blink. Oh no, it's not a blink, it's an excitement. I mean, starting with an excitement hit wouldn't be too bad, all things considered. It's just with the fact that D has to be very careful with how he plays right here. Decides not to vault the window and wants to look for when the Embalmer is. Throws at the mirror right here. Wow, this accuracy is splendid. Let's just say it's an unpleasant surprise here for the Embalmer as well. But at least Embalmer is rotating pretty darn far away from his own coffin. Because all things considered, this is a small map, so the next mirror should be able to get the Embalmer down. It's currently 80 seconds into the game, and our Cypher progress at most is currently at 50%. Not a good sign, but thank goodness this is a BQ, because you get a 15-second free containment time when, of course, you don't have mirrors. Now what's important for D is to not pick the Embalmer up, but instead break the pallet and then pick the Embalmer up. Now why may you ask? It's because of the fact that the mirrors are still in cooldown. And for some reason I feel like if the mirrors are in cooldown, you can't really get closer towards Embalmer's face on time, Embalmer's coffin on time. But I guess D here really did time it well. Maybe it's because it's a BQ, so she doesn't, maybe because it's generally just a BQ, so she doesn't have to really get over there ASAP. But of course, with the invisibility turning off right now, invisibility popping off, it doesn't seem like our Embalmer can contain for any longer. Gets a hit right there. It's currently a 3 cypher containment, second chair for the Embalmer, and there's no one in graveyard, of course. But the nightmare will come in when anti-current comes in. Now, when anti-current comes in the rescue, we need two things that we definitely have to heavily consider. One is, are we gonna excitement when anti-current starts harassing when I want to get the Embalmer down? Or two, am I gonna save excitement for when I get Embalmer down and then excitement to chair Embalmer to guarantee the tie? That's the two questions we need to ask right here for ourselves. Cause if it's the first option, then you're gonna have a really hard time chairing the Embalmer. But if it's the second option, you're just gonna have a really hard time downing the Embalmer. So both options are not the best, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We do have a mirror coming out though. I don't know why those two separated, which was more surprising to me than anything. It does seem like the mirror mode hit the first officer, so thankfully the first officer will be going down here. But sadly, BQ's mirror will be considered as a miss. And we can also see on the Cypher progress here as well, the 2 is going pretty darn fast. The 2 is going pretty darn fast. All things considered, 70 seconds into the game, there was like 50% decoded at best, and the others were like 30% ciphers. Getting the blink down here, I think it's very discreet. It is what it is, considering that if first officer was body blocking here, then anti-current definitely would not be here. I guess at the end of the day, you still need to consider quite a lot of things, and that is A, am I gonna save mirrors for endgame, or B, how am I gonna actually play this? Cause this lands on anti-current, cause you need to think, right, you have 120 seconds left, you basically 2 minutes left, and you want to stall 2 minutes for your blink to come out to guarantee a tie. Now you may argue with the fact that, oh, I'm a BQ, I just mirror, but what if you fail your mirror? That's the thing, right, you need to have guarantees. Failing your mirrors is definitely possible. All things considered, as survivors knows how to you know, fail your mirror. You can chase after Professor, but Professor basically has flywheel. You can chase after a first officer, but first officer has an extra 5 seconds of tie time when he's near you, and you basically maybe cannot even land the mirror on him if you're way too close to him. And of course there is a first officer who will currently be slugged. So at least good news. Good news is we can wait for detention to be ready, and yeah, that's genuinely about it here. There's too much things to consider here for D. He cannot make a single mistake, especially as a pro hunter as well, so playing it way more safe here is better overall. Getting the down on, oh wait, wow, that was some brilliant mirrors. Getting the down there on the antiquarian simply allows the professor to go and heal the first officer. It's still good though, because one mirror out and then one first officer down is what I simply think. Because we all know where the first officer is. we do all know where the first officer is, because the BQ also knows this as well. So the moment that BQ knows that there's no one here, they're gonna go run straight towards that area. That mirror was perfect. That mirror down the first officer immediately. First officer will now be sloped again. Yeah. This is why we started slugging endgame. This is genuinely why we started slugging endgame. Now then, the thing here is we won't be able to, even if you do swing, you won't be able to land the hit. And the only hit you land is on his shell shock. Sadly, because of the fact that BQ mirror is a bit slower, and of course this Fulan definitely has barrage, you know, fast window vaulting. So the moment that your swing is finished, Fulan basically activates shell shock. Even though you can say that, oh, well, I mean, I can definitely time it right. No, it doesn't work like that. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. I think one blink down here will be more than enough. Ooh, very nice shell shock there from Regency. But there will be an immediate disarm here coming from the anti-query, and now it's really up to the not the first officer, it's really up to Fulana to finish this off. It's 88, 90, 91. Can anti-current put the cipher down? Oh, anti-current did manage to put the pallet down. Oh no. Oh no, the cipher's prime! No, it turned into a tie! Ah, this is very interesting to see. Sadly, the blink is gone. But at least first officer still has a watch though, and first officer's first watch range is huge. That range is genuinely huge. So you can't go for first officer anymore. You don't know that there's a professor nearby. Do you know that there's a professor nearby? You don't, but it does seem like D is gonna go straight for the first officer instead. Is there a dungeon here? That's the question. If there's dungeon here, then there's definitely a chance. If there's dungeon here, then there's definitely a chance. Does this watch land? This watch does not land, which is a little bit more unfortunate than we thought it would be. The mirror comes out and no shell shock from the first officer, sadly. I guess this will still be a tie. It's still a win for them, but there's no mirrors on BQ, so BQ can't really aim for anything right here. There's nothing much you can aim for. Yeah, there's really nothing much you can aim for. Maybe for the anti-querying, I guess. But doesn't see that anti-querying was actually on gate. Decides to rotate out instead and wants to bait the fish out. The professor out, who was actually wanting to heal the first officer. We do see where Anti is. Anti has one swing left. That swing didn't really land. Can we see a mirror change? I think a mirror change here will probably be for the best. Very nice mirror change right there, but I don't think that was enough. Is this enough? This is not enough. The tension is nearly over as well. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. What's important here for the survivors is they need to have one to open the gate, and the other one needs to make sure that there's an extra item there to be used. BQ's mirror is now ready, so we'll be throwing that mirror out. Wanting to disarm right here, it's going to be a little bit harder. Having the speed boost right there. I think detention is over. Oh my god, is detention over? Is detention over? It's 14 seconds left on the detention. Yeah, detention's over. Yeah, BQ doesn't have mirror. Yeah, detention's over. That's lovely. I mean, there's a dungeon here, and the gate is opened. Detention? Can you land the hit? Ooh, oh no. Ho ho, wow. Yeah, that's why you need blink. That's why you need blink for endgame. Yep, that's why you need blink for endgame. Moving on.